just waiting on Erik and everyone else, I think. Oh. So things are gonna get busier for me again. So I'm gonna start working, easing into it, working part-time remotely, and then so 4 hours. Hey, someone. The fly is quick. All right. Oh, sorry, not the fly. The fly's alter ego. I don't know. Oh no. All right. Let's see. Got to. Hey, Erik. Can you? I can't hear you. You want to say something? Erik?
Hey, Bon, how's it going?
Good. There you go. Hey, fly. Wow. How many accounts do you have, fly? Someone? Goodness. That's not gonna save password. Okay. Sorry, I'm just doing some work on the side.
Oh, that's okay. Take your time. No rush. No hurry.
For those that don't know, I've got like, well, 3 computers and a laptop, at least that's on. So I have this, I have second computer, and I have my work computer.
I have 2 computers.
Oh well, I have a lot more than 2, but that's on, and I'm actually using right now. It's 4. Okay, let's see. Hey, Snork. Oh, okay, Snork's gonna have some soup. Oh yeah, right. If I really wanted a lot of clicks and views, someone, I could automate that and make that work. But that's just a waste of time. I mean, it's not like I'm monetized. Quit and start. That'll work. That's weird. All right, that should be good. Let's see. All right, chat. Hey, Jeremy Angel. So, oh yeah, so people can view. There's Jamarl Thomas. His surgery went well. He says he's in pain, but he's alive.
I'm glad things went very well.
Yeah. So maybe go on Twitter and say get well soon thing for Jamarl. And let's see. Recently I just made a video about donating $5 or 5 reasons to donate $5 to Mike Figueredo of the Humanist Report.
That sounds fun.
It's so basically he does a Google Hangouts. I don't like Google Hangouts. It's like it switches from person to person way too much. It gives me headaches sometimes if I stare at it too long. But just having a chance to talk to him is pretty awesome.
I missed that earlier. What's going on with Jamal?
Oh, he had surgery, and so
okay.
If you look on the YouTube stream, you can see that's him, and he just posted like 15 minutes ago.
I hope he's doing all right.
Yeah, he says he's in pain, but he's alive.
Okay.
Once 420 comes around, I'm sure he'll feel better. Hey, Ellis. So do we want to try a computer segment?
Do you want to take a look?
Oh yeah, show it. Nice. Is that a Corsair all-in-one for the CPU?
Yeah, Corsair all-in-one.
Hey, I thought you worked for.
I did work for SwiftTech, but I'm kind of out of the custom water cooling deal right now. It's just it's too expensive currently. Maybe later on.
Yeah, and you've got to overclock to what?
That's a it's an R7 1700 overclocked to 3.7 gigahertz currently. I might push it higher this weekend.
Okay. What's your max temps?
Max temp is
during load.
40.
Sorry.
47 degrees Celsius, I think, is the max temp on the CPU, which is actually pretty damn good.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty good. What is that? Like is that 240 radiator with that Corsair or?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good temps for.
Yeah, not bad at all. But see, here's the thing. I think I got really lucky with this chip. I didn't have to touch the voltage at all,
Okay.
and it holds at 3.7.
Okay.
I didn't even have to touch the voltage, which is kind of strange. A lot of other people said that I would have had to bump it up, but I didn't have to touch it.
I haven't read the reviews too much on it as far as the overclocking reviews. What's the highest the reviewers gotten up?
The highest reviewers are getting out of these chips is about 4. It's about 4 gigahertz. They don't overclock all that well.
Okay.
But even at that speed, they're competing against. They're easily competing with Intel's $1,000 to $1,200 chips. So
yeah,
I mean, you can't beat that.
Yep. Like AMD's, they're recently like, I feel like their overclocking doesn't scale that well, anyways.
It never really has. It never has.
But I don't know. Yeah, I'm like debating about getting back into AMD's side. I like AMD. They have a lot of potential. They're the small guy, you know. Intel's the big guy. Yeah, I'm like debating about.
Oh, I was the Joey.
But
hey, bro.
Oh no! Hold on.
Hey guys.
Yep. Hey, broke a carpenter. Oh shoot! My backdrop is falling down. I don't have enough weight to support the backdrop. Carry on.
How's everybody doing tonight?
All right.
Quite grooving, actually. Much better than before.
Cool.
I finally got down. Huh?
We didn't have the troll return last night, did we?
Yeah, we did. He came for a little while. And then I just booted him, and then I locked the session and wasted his time.
Nice. Good job. Did you show him that you had a picture of him?
Oh no! Oh, I should do that, huh? Here we go.
What a dumb
Say hello
man.
to Pizza Man.
Did Matt? Now here's the real question: was Matthew able to place in his order?
I don't know.
Anything else is meaningless.
That's funny.
So call-in user 1, is that Kevin? Or we got a silent call-in user 1? Maybe they're getting ready to bombard us.
Could be.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Can you hear
that's
me?
him.
Yep, that's Kevin. Awesome.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Yep, you got it right. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
You're sounding good today.
Seriously?
Yeah. Or go on a long rant. Maybe we'll see.
Yes, go ahead now.
Go on a rant. That's normally when it cuts off. Normally I can get like 2 words in and then it takes a crap. Well, I don't know. I rewatched some of the video to see how bad it was. And oh my God, sometimes like I started talking and it just chopped off. And like I turned up my volume. I couldn't even make out what the fuck I was saying.
Well, you went good now. Maybe it's worse when there's a lot more people in, or maybe there's other callers in the phone line.
Could be. No.
I've noticed one thing that for the phone line callers, when there's multiple people on computer talking and they're going back and forth, if they don't take a pause in between, it seems like it skips over the phone callers trying to say something.
Okay. And it's hard
That's
with
what it seems like to me.
Yeah, and it's hard with the phone lines because you can't. I don't think you could raise your hand unless you're on a smartphone.
Not really, not unless you're peeking at the comments. I can raise my hand there, say hand up or something.
Yeah.
Do you have a headset?
1 second lag on it.
Do you have a headset, Kevin?
No, I don't.
I don't know if that'd help. I don't know if it'd help any, but you know, it might. Who knows?
They usually do, because they'll help with the distortion a bit, because they you know, it's you know, it's a larger distance between the mic and the speakers, so usually that does help a little bit with distortion.
Well, I what I have right now is I just have headphones on. That way I don't have to have the phone up to my head.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because that way, you know, because normally that kind of helps cut down stuff.
Right.
Would be an interesting problem. Oh, so has there been anything in the news? Oh, sorry. Oh, you were saying?
Oh, just asked. I think it's Bram. Is that right?
Yeah.
You were mentioning AMD parts, something about scaling and all that. I don't know. I was trying to call in. I did the whole thing. Gotcha.
No, we were just talking about overclocking. That with AMD, their overclocking just usually doesn't scale all that well. Anyway, so being that their new chips don't overclock too well, really isn't much of it. Really isn't too big a deal.
Well, yeah. I mean.
Well, when you look at the price on it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
No, AMD
for what you get. And, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good deal for them.
Oh, it's a great deal. I mean, paying $300 for this chip and getting like $1,200 worth of performance, you can't beat it.
Has the efficiency gotten any better?
Has what gotten any better?
The efficiency, like
power.
In terms of what?
Power usage, like how much power?
Oh yeah, this is okay. This is an 8-core 16-thread chip, 65 watt.
Whoa.
65 watt, that's a 65-watt chip.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. But
it's damn good.
Yeah, I guess that is.
That's damn good. And that's one of the reasons it runs so cool. That's why I'm not really hitting, you know, the higher temperatures, because it's not using a lot of juice.
So what was replacing it? What did you replace it?
It replaced an 8350, an FX 8350. So I had an AMD processor before.
Yeah. And
it was just a straight 8-core.
How did you think? I didn't go into the FX line of AMD CPUs. I went from the Phenom 2.
No, they weren't. It wasn't great. It wasn't much of an improvement at all over the Phenoms.
I don't know. I have one of the earlier mid-generation FX 8 cores in my computer, and it's held true for the past 2-3 years.
They're not bad, but I mean, if you compare them, instruction per clock to Intel beats them easily.
Well, yeah, but you don't. Yeah, but you buy Intel if you're like seriously into hardcore overclocking, and you have ridiculous amounts of spare income to waste.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. I mean, if all you're doing is gaming and you know, watching stuff on YouTube or whatever, an AMD chip is more than enough.
All right, we'll do computer talk later. let's go into current events.
Okay.
So, oh, go ahead, Kevin.
Is Snork coming on again?
He's making soup. He hasn't been feeling well, so we might see him on later.
Yeah. Because I know he was. He brought up a really interesting topic yesterday about he wanted to have a discussion about energy solutions and all that.
Yep. Oh, I noticed. So when someone's typing or there's other sound, I think it drowns out phone call noise. So, all right. Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. I think I kind of want to. I was reading up on like UBI, like which is Universal Basic Income for Hawaii. Like Hawaii legislators have proposed. Oh, there's Snork. Hey, Snork. So that's also what I want to talk about. If anyone has any info on that, but Snork, just to catch you up, Kevin was wanting to talk back about the point of the chemical exchange program or something similar to that?
No, it was more to do with material resources and energy and stuff that just basically ends up as a waste product instead of being used somewhere for something, you know?
Yeah.
I believe that's what Stark was talking about. But the whole Hawaii basic income thing, I did a couple searches on it, and I couldn't find too much on it so far. I could find a couple small articles, but no, like, I couldn't find, like, the actual text of the legislation or anything.
Yeah, me neither.
So I'm not 100% sure how it's structured or how it's set up, or, you know, I don't know if it's universal basic income, but you only get $5 or something like that.
$5?
I was making a joke.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
like, you know, I don't know the specifics of it. It could be anything.
Yeah. Does anyone else know more about that? Otherwise, we don't have to talk about it. All right.
I don't know anything that much about it. I just know it happened.
Yeah.
I haven't really had time to look into it, but I plan to do so this weekend.
So, what are predictions for the 4th of July? You think Donald Trump will find a veteran or a mother for a veteran and just kind of do some tribute like that? It seems to be an ongoing thing, right?
It's either whatever it is, it's going to be cheesy, and it's going to be it's not going to go over well because that's his MO.
Well, it's every president's MO. Every president does it. Obama.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
He's probably going to burn some poor guy in a wheelchair down in Mar-a-Lago. He's gonna have a big fireworks set up and have like a guy pushing the vet through the big, you know, hooray sign, you know, in fireworks all around, and maybe like Michael Jackson or something. Trust me, you know, the guy just, either that or he'll start his speech about how unfairly he's treated by the media. One or the other.
Yeah, I think he'll have his chef just make him something. And that's as much celebration as he'll have.
Extra round of golf.
Was there any history of Trump in military? Did he avoid?
Yeah, he
four deferments.
Yeah,
for a bone spur that didn't keep. He had 4 deferments for bone spur that didn't keep him from playing baseball and, I don't know, highlight, whatever the fuck he played up there.
It seems to be tennis.
They can't see you, chicken. Rooster's in the background.
Hey, Rooster.
What I find confusing is, like, I was actually excited for General Wesley Clark. I think he was trying to run in 2008, and it feels like everyone seems to like a war president or something like that, or a very patriotic person as running for president. But I mean, when they are president, but how come we don't actually want someone who's like a retired general as president? I mean, how can you be more militaristically patriotic than that?
I think because we're a country that naturally has sort of tried to keep away from keeping our military and our command structure in 2 different sort of, what, you know, the executive has control over the generals, not the other way around. So it's always funny how that goes over with people, you know.
Well, we did that.
It seems well, and I should say too, with all, you know, you see every you know, jackass general and lieutenant colonel and all the rest of them there on CNN. They're all lobbyists for you know, or consultants for big armament companies. So, you know, I'm a little shaky. Just by the time you get to generals, the procurement process and everything else within the Pentagon, that scares me having one of those people in. I mean, it's not that, they just asked for what, 700. They asked for more money than Donald Trump offered them. Let's put it that way.
You guys could talk. I'm kind of doing some work on the side, so I'll chime in every once in a while.
To add to your point there, Broken, I think the other thing is that our military-industrial complex, I think, how can I put this? Well, we've got Tim McCain, okay, John McCain, who tried running, and I think they saw how poorly that worked out, and I don't think they're willing to attempt that again this soon. I don't see them trying that. We haven't gotten over Sarah Palin yet.
I actually thought Wesley Clark was, he's a fairly interesting guy. I don't get me wrong. I think he's a very interesting guy. Yeah, and he's the kind of guy I would want inside of somebody else's. I would want him in the cabinet for somebody. Right. At least what I've seen of him and a little bit I know about him. He seems pretty hooked to reality, and that's what we need. I don't like my generals to have nicknames. Nicknames are never gotten good.
Did you ever see Ulysses S. Grant have a nickname? Well, actually, he probably was called the Drunkard, but still.
I think pretty much anybody that's on our money or has a statue put up to them is some kind of idiot. Or jackass or piece of shit. That's kind of the truth. Andrew Jackson on our 20s was pretty much behind the trail.
I'm sorry, Lincoln, but you also suspended habeas corpus, so you're a bit of a shithead as well.
Oh, Lincoln was just a politician. Anybody that thinks that he was some sort of champion of equal rights is fooling themselves. I mean, the man is on record saying if he can preserve the Union by getting rid of slavery, he'll do it, and if he can preserve the Union by not getting rid of it, he will do that too. And people like Lysander Spooner, who was a true abolitionist, hated Lincoln because he knew that Lincoln was just using it as a hockey puck for his political position. True abolitionists knew that he was just, a political guy. He wasn't doing it out of like this deep moral feeling. And the fact of the matter is, the North had slaves too. I mean, it's the whole country was dirty. The slaves mostly came in through the North, through the port, through the North, and they would go further down. They or they would be brought down to the islands and go up.
They fed the mills in the North. Is what they did. I mean, that's the mechanical revolution came along and revolutionized things, and that was in the North as far as a lot of the stuff, plus all the implements and everything were made up north if they were made in the United States. But I'll tell you, one military, Tulsi could run, because Tulsi's more enlisted and is anti-war. I mean, it's pretty much the general that runs has got to be coming in there full bore anti-war. I mean, otherwise, I wouldn't give him a second thought. But Tulsi, I would,
The thing I like about Tulsi also is that she's smart enough to ask questions. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, that says an awful lot about somebody, that they're willing to, put on the brakes and say, wait a minute, let's find out what's actually going on here before we just jump to conclusions.
Exactly.
That means a lot.
I think some people can go into the military and come out with a very different opinion before they went in. You know what I mean? I think they can, it in some ways can give the right kind of person a certain perspective to really see it from the inside out and understand, you know, all of the the different colors and the nuances of the situation.
I completely agree.
Bernie, do you have anything to say about that?
Is that the rooster I see?
It is the rooster you see.
Hello.
Hey, Lucas.
Hey, what's up?
How are you doing?
Hey. Good. I've just been watching permaculture videos for the last couple of hours. Getting inspired.
We're both fans of the James Howard Kunstler. The rooster really turned me on to him, and I know you are too. We really got to get him on Tim's show. We got to get him an interview.
That would be so great. It would be so great.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Somebody who said they were watching culture videos.
Yes, that's me, Lucas.
Okay, Lucas, you know what you might want to watch? There's it relates to permaculture. You probably watched the Rocket Stove one. Cop, right?
That was muffled, Kevin.
Where's Erik? Where's our trigger boy?
I was very muffled.
Oh man. You guys should see the nation's the comment section for this Nation article about Nina Turner. It is fucking amazing. It's just a smorgasbord of entitled Hillary liberals.
You mean she isn't pushing for more women in the boardroom?
I just showed.
I mean, I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. I loved being just a worker, man. You know, tell me what to do, boss. I don't care if it's man, woman, gay, straight, whatever. Just tell me what to do. Let me do it, and leave me alone, and we'll all be cool. I'm hanging around me, and I'm gonna find something for you to do. That's basically the way I dealt with bosses. So, you start asking them for heavy shit, and that gets them away from you. So anyhow.
Hey, so I've never called into Tim Black before.
But you did a great job tonight, man.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Nicely
I
done.
was going on a rant. I was like,
Did it feel?
I was beating the drums of progressiveness.
Nicely done.
You did us proud, son. You did us proud.
Yeah, I plugged this, man. I plugged this.
James, I got.
We both plugged.
I sit on hold for that show, and I'm like a professional wrestler getting ready because I want to get it all in fast. I want to get it all in.
Man,
yeah.
Carpenter, yours is brilliant.
I got like 4 notes on a paper bag. I'm trying to figure out what in the hell I wrote, and I'm trying to be fast, and I'm nice, because I finally got a little bit of bread.
Here's my notes.
Went down to the corner store.
I followed. Yeah,
good.
I followed like this much, and then I went somewhere here, and then I went back over there, and then I went over here. I forgot what universal basic income was. It was so bad.
It was nicely done, James.
When I call into Tim, I'll try to write some things down so I don't forget the things that I want to say.
I made sure I had the good thing to end on. I always try to have one good thing to end on because it's so easy to get trapped in a downer, and it's sometimes it's not easy to find a good thing, but usually you can.
That's true. Yeah. I'm kind of a mixture of, it's like I can be really cynical and really gloomy about it all. And at the same time, it's like you don't want to be completely down in the dumps. It's hard to maintain the balance because there's just so much. It's so heavy.
We could go. I I don't know. I don't think I ever told you guys this, but I had a blog talk radio show for a few months, and I did pretty good with it. And then all of a sudden, I was just so busy working, I just messed up. But in the beginning, and don't boot me, but I was watching Rachel Maddow and stuff.
You're gone. You're done.
So, I was sucked into it.
One job, man.
Yes, I know, right? But what happened is, as soon as I kind of lost my cable because it was like $123 a month. The next thing you know, I'm paying it. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm paying you. So I'm actually still paying that off. I got like $50
the cost of cable is making a lot of progressive.
Exactly. Yeah. So once I got rid of that and I started watching more YouTube and Hulu and Sling and other stuff like that, I'm starting to follow you guys. I'm starting to see all these people, and I'm starting to get some facts, and I'm starting to do some searching and some due diligence. I thought I was doing that before, but not enough at all. And so finally, I ended up here. But I think this is it. This has got to be the resting place. This is where Jim is going to land.
Elron, man, Elron.
Oh, I think the bird is going to have to go get in the nest box. He's pretty tired. He's up.
Oh, well.
You know how it is for chickens.
Yeah. Well, the rooster's got to crow, so that happened.
I just told him, Carpenter, you keep asking where he's at.
Well, it was nice to see him.
I know.
Good to see you guys. I'm going to bed.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a good night.
I'll be back in a little bit.
James, I think you'd rock and roll
8 minutes
on a YouTube or blog talk thing.
Yeah, you can sprinkle some facts on them.
Yeah.
Sprinkle some facts on them and get out of there.
We'll see you in about 8 to 10 minutes.
In the beginning, we were just amoeba, man. We all were, so figure it out. We all had to get here somehow.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
This sort of intersectional weirdo Brady Bunch we got here.
Exactly.
Hey, I was always hung out with the stoners, the art kids, and the jocks, so it was really a weird mix.
Hey,
That
was basically my drama club throughout my high school years. It's just this weird hodgepodge of jocks, preps, and everything in between.
Oh, that's what had it in my head. That damn phone call. That's what it was.
It was like we had actually stumbled upon a high school version of the Village People. Things were chill back then.
Oh, yeah, there still are.
Although, I don't know. From some of the reports I've gotten from about Stillwater High recently, it seems as though things have started to get a little rougher. So,
well, you have to think about. I mean, I really believe that a lot of what you see in society comes from the top down. When you see bullies, when you see dishonesty, when you hear it, when you're around it, I mean, kids are playing in the background, but they're watching this stuff. They're subconsciously getting little blips and glimpses of just the most ridiculous, heinous stuff. Graham, when we were younger, and Broken Nose, and so does Snork and everybody else, is that when we were younger, we had Saturday morning cartoon. We didn't have CNN blasting us all the time.
Oh yeah.
We didn't have infomercials all the time. We actually had a pretty cool life, but the kids now, I think they see it and they can feel it with their parents. Like I've always said, you guys know this. It takes a village to raise a kid, and then it's your immediate surroundings that usually dictates how they're going to be. But like I said, when that one kid was being a shithead when I was surfing, the kid cut in on me, and then he told me I was a shit. He was an asshole. He was like 10 years old. And I said, I need to go talk to your dad. Where's your dad? And he just like swam away because I was gonna go talk to his dad, like just talk to him, you know. Hey, your son's a little shithead, you know, just talk. But that's kind of, you know, that's the way it works. So it's just kind of, that's the way it is right now. I mean, you've got white supremacists they're in the open now. They've come out of the closet. Trump's
they've been out in the open for a while.
But do you think more so though, Alias?
No, I definitely agree more so. I mean, between Gamergate, the 2016 election, the pooling ground for MRAs and white nationalists has been fucking amazing. Especially when you can come up with vague conspiracy theories about how Muslims and Magic the Gathering feminists are coalescing together in order to take over the world and apparently make video games less entertaining somehow. I'm really not sure what their point was on that one.
My Battlefield 1 looks like my Battlefield 4. It's just not as good.
And with 20%.
Don't tell Ariel or Kelly, but I've been eating really good, and it's Friday.
You're
She knows.
You're gonna narc on me, Eric. I know you're gonna narc on me, dude.
I won't say anything. That's for you to tell.
You have to say that. I don't have to do anything.
That's for you to tell, not anyone else.
Don't you see? Oh no, I can't go full H bomber guy. That'd be too much.
Anyway, it's Friday night. I had no idea. I listened to Tim, and I've listened to Tim off and on for about 8 months, at least 8 months now. I'll just pop in, you know, and I've been following. You know, I think HA is the guy I listen to like a me. It's kind of religious.
We got a new guy.
Oh, we got a new guy. No, it's Kevin.
Is that Kevin?
It's Kevin.
Is that Kevin? Kevin, get your camera.
Was Kevin on the show? Was Kevin on Tim's show tonight? I thought I heard him.
That's not me.
Oh.
I'm the phone call.
It's Ivan testing something.
Camera.
I know on just link down in chat. I won't be able to use that. The only device I can really use that has a microphone and headphones and stuff that I can actually do it on is the phone. And the only phone I got is
that makes sense.
Got it.
Yeah, what I'd like to know is what is his setup?
Hold on. So, Kevin, can you direct message me your phone number if that's all right, or do you have like a? Shoot. Actually, I think I might get it. Never mind. Hold on.
Mojo,
I think I have a different way. I think
if he uses headphones, it might not keep doing the auto shut off of his microphone, and that might help.
Yeah.
I think if I just get a headset, because right now I am using headphones, I'm just talking into the phone.
Okay. All right.
Do you have a fan beside you?
No.
Okay. You don't have a hamster, do you? Lost you again.
I think that's the same one I've got there, James.
Wait, what was that, James?
It's a Logitech webcam. I've got one as well. It's a nice little webcam.
It's not bad.
The only webcam I've got is the one that's on my iPhone.
It also was not expensive.
It was $27.99. $27.99.
On where?
I got it from Walmart.
That's actually a really good deal.
Yeah. That one tends to be a little more expensive.
Do we need to be quiet because of Kevin and Evan working on stuff?
Actually, now that I think about it, that might be the same webcam I have.
Is it? It's a Logitech, right?
Yeah, mine says a Logitech as well.
It's got like blue lights on the side.
270.
Yeah, mine's got a little green light on the side.
Oh, okay. Mine has a blue light.
Yeah.
Well, the green ones are way better, from what I hear.
Are they?
Damn it! The feminists tricked me. They gave me They put a higher price on it. They made me think that it was higher quality equipment.
With a different light, those bastards.
Oh, I'll get you yet. And the family, especially you, Kevin, you smug little bastard.
You know what I like is every time I see someone with technical difficulties, I always think of Broken. He's got a little shitty phone, and it's fucking great. He's got the cat's eye. He's got like the fishbowl eye.
It does pretty well.
It encompasses everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that little camera he's got does pretty damn well.
Tonight I had to put it differently. I had to stick it on a little table here to get it right on, because I lost my tripod that I hold it on. It's also the screen for the projector.
Gotcha.
It's a phone. It's just a phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, but I got it to shoot video. So you know, that was what I got it for, was to go fiddly and shoot video. And then I found out my card was too small. So, oops.
So, are we waiting for Kevin, or are they situating something right now?
I'm not too sure.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little.
So, I'm just saying, I brought up a pretty good point tonight. I don't know if
I'll put it in chat.
Go ahead, Kev. Oh, Ben's here. Hey, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Okay, so the thing that I wanted Tim to think about, and I planted a seed in his head, I hope. He's got a lot of seeds, I'm sure. But was, if Bernie doesn't jump on which he hasn't even really considered or talked about or suggested, there's a better word, it'll come. But he hasn't made any remarks in regards to the People's Party, draft Bernie for the People's Party. And that's been going around for like 6 months now, at least, right? For 5 or 6 months. And he hasn't really done anything. So what if he doesn't do anything like that? And what if he stays an independent, but still stays under the umbrella of the Democratic Party?
Which I think is what he should do.
I mentioned Tim Black, but I'm just saying.
No.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to do.
I think one thing too is he hasn't said he's not going to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, silence sometimes isn't such a bad thing. And like I said, I think he's just wait till after 2018, kind of trying. Right now, I think he's trying to actually be a legislator and still get out into the public and, preach the gospel,
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
No. But although I have to admit, it feels really disconcerting to see Chris Hayes go back to treating Bernie like they've always been best friends, and while he was, not even 6 months ago, he was throwing him under the bus. So,
yeah, I've gotten used to that kind of BS from him and everyone else on MSNBC.
Boring turd. Chris Hayes is a boring turn.
Yeah, he's a shithead. So you know the old Bush saying, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." But you know he got that wrong. But the thing was,
it's well.
What did he say? Remember how he said it?
Don't do it again.
Fool me once, shame on you, me, shame on me.
Shame on you. Fool me twice, you won't be fooled again.
Yeah. It was fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, can't get fooled again.
Yeah.
Old saying for Texas. Maybe you got it here in Tennessee. Yeah, fucking dick face.
Yeah, he's a fucking asshole. So I feel like if Bernie stays under the umbrella of the Democratic Party, like he's been, okay, I gotta say this. He's not an idiot. Everybody knows that. He's a smart man. He's played politics in this fucking vicious arena for decades.
Very long time. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give the guy props for still being in such a vicious area of collusion and corruption. So he plays where he needs to play. And then during the DNC convention, when I think he had his greatest moment to be a Martin Luther King, you know, to be a JFK, to be a person to risk, because these people all risk their lives to go against the duopoly, the grain. You know, I really think they knew that if they said these words, they were going to get ousted. And I think that they knew that chance. So either he knew that if that was his moment to say, you know what, I don't accept any of this, and I'm challenging her to a recount. That would have been fucking epic. Right? And I guarantee shit would have hit the fan, but we would probably have Bernie right now. The only thing is because he didn't do that, I just got this weird feeling that some deal was struck. Because then he kept supporting Dem-like establishment candidates. Back and forth. He talk about his policies, broken. Anyway, I know you love this guy, but give me a second.
But just remember, Donna Brazil had control of that convention. And there wasn't any way in fucking hell that the Hillary people were going to let it go anyway but the way it went. I mean, it was...
So you're not saying he could have... Just hold on. So you're
I'm saying I think before the convention even happened, you know, the basically they read him the cards, you know, and
okay, so wait, I understand that.
I think that having a floor fight may have been possible, but I mean, these people, like you say, he's been around for a while, and they can count votes, you know. And
I think before he walked up to the podium, he had all the information he needed. He had all the support. But the thing was, I think just before, Bram, I know I'm telling you, just before he got up there, I think they read him his rights. And they told him
yeah.
I don't know if there were threats, but, you know, and then, so why I'm saying fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, is because I'm concerned that is he going to, if he does not go with a different, a new party, and if he continues in the same direction, and he kind of helps and props beside him his trophy bitch Democrats every once in a while, then we've got to search for somebody else. We've got to find somebody, you know. And I just wish Tulsi would just leave the Democratic Party. But I've got a weird feeling that she might be a Hillary. It's more like a fear. I love her. I think she's looking hot too.
Here's my point about all this. I agree. I actually agree with both of you here. But here's the one thing that I didn't fully understand until my brother explained it to me. Now, my brother, okay, is a lawyer. He worked on Hillary's campaign in Nevada. And I asked him why he was so adamantly behind Hillary. And his response to me was that she was the inevitable candidate. She was inevitable. And the reason why he said it that way is because the Democratic Party, as he explained it, is a private organization, and they picked her from the very beginning. They had no intention of letting anybody else become the nominee. They had no intention of allowing anybody else to even have a chance
from the very beginning.
Well, that's why the superdelegates exist, and that's why they exist. That's why they still exist in California and Ohio and New York and everywhere else. It's to keep people from getting any power at all whatsoever, and to give you the illusion of power, and to make you stick with them until it's too late. The thing is, we all should be saying, screw the Democrats right now. Maybe the Justice Democrats thing might help a little bit, but and I'm not completely opposed to it, but I'd rather have everyone vote for third party candidates. It's like, even if you don't like the third party candidate, even if they're completely incompetent, vote for them over the competent Democrat or Republican that knows how to screw you over.
I agree. That's exactly what happened. The Electoral College, the superdelegates, they had reports of it that they were already in collusion with her. They had already made up their decision. They weren't moving. So that was already done from the very beginning. But knowing that and having all that information with all these states and all these crazy, you saw the rallies, you saw the Democratic, these little conventions, I forgot what they're called, where they would come and they would argue and they would try to debate over who they were going to pick for their primaries, and then the supposed throwing challenge. I mean, this happened everywhere, and then there was YouTube after YouTube after YouTube of people saying this happened at this polling station. This lady over here ran out with a box of fucking tickets and shit. It just was on and on and on, and so you had tons of proof, and you had tons of factual proof that there was collusion from the very beginning, and it was like right in front of our faces. And then he gets to the podium, or he's standing there with his group behind him, and he says, and then he conceded. So what I'm really saying is I don't know. I'm not going to give Bernie, like I did before, all the eggs. I'm not going to give him all the eggs in my basket, and I don't think most people are.
Well, I don't think we should give any one politician all our eggs. The way everyone talks about Bernie is like they talk about him as if he's our new monarch that they want him to be. Just like how everyone talks about Michelle Obama and Chelsea Clinton, like they want a country to become a dynasty with monarchs again. And it's like Ivanka, that's what Donald Trump wants, is to be able to hand the country to his kids. And I think that we should be getting away from the idea of one person that we put all of our eggs in. And I get that we want leaders and strong leaders. That's why we had the conversation last night about why Elizabeth Warren sucks as a leader. But I think that we shouldn't be focusing necessarily on one person to lead the movement. We should be focusing on groups of people, like-minded people that represent core values, kind of like what we talked about before with creating some kind of people's manifesto.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what numerous socialist movements across history have attempted to do. And we've accomplished it to varying degrees of success throughout the world. We've currently got situations in the UK where you have the communist, socialists, and anarchists squatting in houses in order to provide shelters for the homeless. There are steps that we can take. Currently, we can work on building class consciousness and solidarity with unions to help increase their bargaining power. These are things that we can do right now if we have the courage and the gumption to do so. But that requires...
You said about the unions. There's only one little bone I got to pick with unions, and that's the hierarchical structure of them. where you basically have a union, like a union boss or a union leader. I think it should be more spread out.
Yeah, I'd agree.
That way it's more representative of the actual whole.
Like a committee.
Yeah, that's a fair.
Bigger than a committee. I
completely agree.
And it also depends,
right?
Yeah. It also
kind of backed and supported Hillary, so you know they're not completely all right in the head.
No, well,
no, all the unions that let their executive councils chose Hillary, and all the unions that had rank and file voting for who they were going to endorse had Bernie, and there
were a lot of AFT members that were
there. I mean, but the thing about it is, most unions have a local union. You go to your local union, that gives you power within the district council. The district council then gives you power into the either the state or the like mine's a freaking area. It's like Wyoming, part of Northern California, Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, I think. And that's like one, I don't know what they call it. They may be, that is, they split it up some and consolidated things, but that's the way ours was set up. And you can put in your 2 cents. We used to be a rowdy, we used to have a very good local, and they sort of, I don't know now the way they reorganized it. I got sort of thrown around in different unions after I was disabled. So, either way, I'm in the same union. I'm paid until 2037 or something. I was paying full dues, and I only had to pay dues for retired or whatever. So I'm good to 2037. If anybody asks me if I paid my dues,
just tell them the check is in the mail.
Hey, check was already mailed, baby. I got the receipt.
Oh. All right, so back to Bernie. Okay, we always find ways to go in certain directions. So
the Bernie thing, I agree. Like, I think that it's like wait till 2018, see who runs. I mean, I'm open to anybody that is the best person I think should be president. That's the way I pick them. I can't pick a party. I have to pick the candidate I think represents me best.
Of course.
I could end up voting green again. I mean, that's just the way that goes. And
yeah, But here's my biggest point. Okay, we're running out of time. We need to start boosting somebody as soon as possible. I've been to a Jill Stein rally. I've met with her. I think I showed you guys the picture. So, and she's great, but there's a stigma she has. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the way she speaks. I'm not sure, but everything she says is right. Everything she says is pretty spot on. And she's not far away from what all we think about and all we want and all that's needed. Right. Everything that Bernie pretty much stands for. Here's a good argument. There was a guy saying Bernie should be Jill's nothing, and I was on my Facebook, and I put Bernie's picture on the green platform in a picture for him. I said, so you agree with all this that Bernie stands for, right? And I just did it on paint just to make a point. He goes, yeah. And I go, you read it, right? He goes, yeah. I go, that's Jill Stein's platform. Mm-hmm. That's their base. That's what they're talking about. Yeah. Okay. This is the problem that we all need to, that most of the country that's progressive need to understand, is if you go anywhere near the two-party oligarchy, you're going to get bit again. We're going to get bit. We really have to have a third party. I know I'm not going to go with the Libertarian Party. I know and our best choice has to be green. I'm
going to tell you right now, there's one policy that I'm going to get behind. I don't care who throws it up, and that is the Green New Deal. Because I'm going to explain why. Because it pretty much encompasses everything we're looking for in terms of a viable future. I was taking economics in Germany at the time when Jill Stein first announced that she was coming out with this as part of her platform. And I sat in on 2 lectures, basically explaining how if this was implemented, how it would not only change America's future, but how it would change the entire planet, because you would have other countries then maneuvering to get behind it, because they'd see how it would energize our economy around this platform, and they would want to get behind it themselves because they'd see how beneficial it was, not just for the environment, but for the economy itself. I mean, it really is an amazing platform.
Well, I think a Green New Deal, and also a concerted effort to hire whatever we need to in manpower and do as much cleanup and mountain rebuilding, as much of the things we can do to bring back the shit we've torn up, and figure out ways to, either suck the drilling stuff back out of them holes, and see if we can get at least some of the worst of it out. I just think it's worth our time. It's like infrastructure. I think that the idea of building, a solar, some sort of a solar highway kind of thing for people, for electric cars and stuff, being able to travel.
Highway is completely retarded. I'm sorry to say that.
But not like solar. I don't mean it like that. I mean like people using electric vehicles for longer trips. Which if it was just pulling into a station,
caught on fire.
If you
like 6% of the power, so it's a horrible idea. The solar roadway thing is just for show and for.
No, I know.
You make more power. I could off just sticking solar panels on the side of the road.
Yeah,
well, I have to say that
I was speaking more metaphorically here, guys. I am talking about a system. I'm talking about more like a system of stations, like gas stations, that you can pull into. They slide your battery out, throw a new battery in, and away you go. Because all cars have like unleaded gas. All cars have the same kind of battery. You throw them in, and you keep on going. And
Carpenter panels above the road, you can angle them to get most power. On the posts that hold the panels up, you can put induction coils. You can actually charge a car and run a car without going to its battery much, running along a road. So once the car is on the highway, it doesn't have to be running on battery. It could be running on the induction coils, and the battery only has to be charged enough to make it from place to place. So you can switch from using lithium to using just capacitors. Even aluminum plates onto plastic could work for that.
All right, Kevin was saying something, but he got cut off.
Yeah, said what he said there. That's something that he was saying about being, it's the same sort of method of transferring power, just basically inductive. It's like a transformer, how it transfers power. Well, similar. But they do it for inductive cooktops. But my point that I'm getting at is the capacitor idea, the car thing, yeah, that's a good idea. Plus, we already have the wires set up and all that. But there's another idea you probably didn't think of. Okay, why don't you kind of idea and the battery idea and mix them together, and the battery inside your car, the electrolyte can go to a place, get charged at a station, and then you just drain out your used electrolyte that's discharged or something like that idea. You know what I mean?
That's been
that
tried.
way you can.
There wasn't any problems with it. They just couldn't get anybody to deploy it. The success I saw were over 20 years ago, and even back then with the technologies, it was aluminum based electrolyte, and it was a very easy, quick, and safe dump and replace. And I don't remember what university did it. I lost you.
That's pretty cool. I said that's pretty cool. It's like instant charging. It the convenience of just being able to dump 10 or 15 gallons of gas in your car that's got a high energy density, and just, you know what I mean? It gives you, it kind of combines the best of both worlds. But the capacitor idea is also good. But I mean, the one thing I don't like about the capacitor idea is like the induction part of it. Because then imagine having to do that all over the place, or doing that for highways. I mean, highways are, to do long stretches of highways, that gets expensive. And then you want to start doing inductive platforms along the way. I could see that racking up really fast.
Yeah. Well, I think we need to completely review our transportation system.
Same. I'm with Snork. I think that we should be retooling for efficiency and bringing back rail.
Yeah.
Yep.
I completely agree with that.
Please
I would like to see a network.
Please give me a Shinkansen.
Yeah, I would like to see a system where you drive your car to a local train place, hop on a train. If you go across the nation, there's no reason you should be driving.
Fuck the car.
Yes.
I'm gonna take a goddamn bike.
Well, we should have a mix of like canals, trains, bikes. I mean, there's a lot of things that, like, because canals are the most efficient way to transport cargo if the cargo stores well enough.
Well, if the reason you're traveling is just to see the sights and stop along the way and everything, then yes, there is a reason for driving. Not everybody, it's not always the destination. Sometimes it's the journey.
Right, but if you put the car on the train, nobody says you can't get off halfway. You drive your car the 300 miles across Iowa, then the 500 miles across Nebraska. There's not much to see. There might be 3 or 4 places to get off, and then if you want to go, you drive from those local spots to get out there. But
and the great thing about that is you wouldn't be wearing down your car. You know what I mean? You can go that long distance even faster than your car could, and you wouldn't even be putting heavy mileage on a vehicle.
Florida to New York. Florida to New York for years actually had a train like that.
Yeah, they had a car train.
Yeah, you just can't take a DeLorean on it or a Lamborghini.
Why not a DeLorean?
We have to get really used to the fact that we are not going to be doing a whole lot of international or cross-continental travel in the future, in the very near future. People that think that they're still going to be motoring down the highway at 90 miles or whatever an hour, you're out of your mind. Aeolus has got the right idea. Get the bike. I'm serious. Because people that think that we're just going to magically overnight have some wondrous new technological miracle thing to get us around in the same way we're accustomed to, it's a dream. It's a dream.
Yeah, the Jevons paradox will never ever allow us to replace and make like cars more efficient, because we would just waste the efficiency by turning that into more horsepower or by driving more. And like that's what's always happened. Is anytime we've made a more efficient engine, they ramp up the horsepower, or people drive more and actually spend, like they waste more gas because they realize that they now can go places for less money. And so, like, you know, someone who has a truck that has really expensive gas may choose to not go out in their car as much because it's really expensive. Whereas if you get a Prius, it might be better on gas, but then you drive everywhere because you can afford it.
Right. The thing is, too, you know this because
Can I talk for 1 second?
Yes.
Okay, what he just said there. Well, what if the whole entire railway system is completely solar, wind, and geothermal powered, and so basically it doesn't, we have a set amount of power for it, and it's big enough to haul lots of stuff. And then, like Snork said before, the algae we can use to grow fuel. So even there's a lot. I know what you're saying. How people want to expand, they'll want to move more, but that caps off at a point. It only tracks so high with population. It basically, once your population is steady, we're basically sitting at a all right point. But I mean, there's a limit, because you got to think there's only so many people that are going to do so many things, especially if they're preoccupied with other stuff. So I mean, there's merit to what you're saying about how they want to go more places and do more stuff and all this, but then you also, I don't know, there's more ends to that than just what you're saying.
Well, I was just saying that in regards to the car. I wasn't saying that as in regards to public transportation.
Well, the car, I mean, when you combine your car with public transportation, basically what Snork's saying there, it's like, okay, you got a public transportation train system. You can work 300-400 miles away. The train's completely powered. And let's say, you got algae growing and you're using your standard gasoline car or something. You can make the gasoline like that. Or you have electric cars or the inductive cars with capacitors. Or, I imagine the algae one would be the most logical first step, because you're using a lot of the same equipment. You're just changing out the fuel.
Well, I was just talking about more in like the long term.
I
like,
see how
whatever happened with the cars that supposedly ran on like corn oil and things like that? Whatever
They're
happened?
called diesels.
Yeah, but that
You're already running on corn.
refine it, then you get out of it. Plus the farmland you have to use for it.
Well, here's what Ariel was basically saying, and I agree with her here. The stuff that you're talking about in terms of mass transportation, that's not going to happen overnight, and we kind of need it almost overnight because of the situation that we're in environmentally. I mean, we kind of need this stuff right now. So if we're going to start to look at doing things more efficiently, then Aeolus's point makes more sense, because those are things that are available right now that we can go ahead and move to and drastically increase our efficiency, which is exactly what we need to do.
yeah.
The thing is that, I mean, to put it crudely, America has blown its load. I mean, it's true. We have blown it all on what we have right now. We've blown a great chunk of it on what we have right now. And in order to think that we're going to overnight dismantle that and replace it with something is wishful thinking. It could happen eventually, but the fact is we're running out of time environmentally wise. We're really counting down the clock, y'all. And I'm not joking about that. And I know that, Kevin, can you just let me talk, please? Is that all right?
Okay.
Because I'm not really getting to make my full point. Is that, yeah, we're going to have to be doing a lot more, with a lot less. And we're not going to be able to continue to fling ourselves all over the world in airplanes. We're not going to be able to, drive all the way from here to California to go visit Great Aunt Marge because she's got a bunion. We're not going to be able to do that anymore. We're going to have to be more local. We're going to have to be more close to home. And Aeolus is exactly right. I mean, it is that simple. Get a freaking bike, get into a walkable community, learn to make friends with your neighbors, start to grow food, try to be somewhere where they're growing food. These are the things that are going to be for real. And it still may not prolong your life very long. Doing all those things may only get you to live a few more weeks in the grand scheme, to be honest. Because, when the shit hits the fan, the shit hits the fan. They're already grounding planes out in the Southwest because it's too hot to take them off. I'm just telling you, that's real. And that's pretty much my point. But I know that Lucas really understands. He listens to a lot of the same research and reports that I do, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, air travel in the future is going to be nearly impossible because of the way climate change and the El Niños and all that is making the air currents. Like turbulence is so bad in a lot of these places that a lot of the other countries are starting to divest from all their nationalized air companies and privatize them because the governments are at too much of a loss.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say I have an idea about transportation or a thought or something. So I think a lot of the benefit of like rail or something is about using inertia, and somehow it's just like more efficient and stuff. And So I think that like in cities, I mean, I don't understand. Side note, sort of, is I don't understand how or like why it seems to be an issue of that you have to continue to have people consuming as much oil and gasoline and whatnot, because you can still make money on it forever in the future. There's always going to be Jeeps and four-wheelers and lawnmowers to power with gasoline, and people maybe in the country or something. But I think in the cities, for congestion and stuff, and for idea, I just thought that it'd be great if there was like alternative routes, like alternative roads that were like suitable or set up just for really efficient vehicles, that like you built much more for the future, like infrastructure of like overpasses and like just a short, it could be more lightweight little bridges and overpasses and things. And I don't know, I just think either incentivizing people to go with green vehicles that way and making it faster, and just maximizing everything by like reducing stop signs and traffic lights, and then also like maybe making more bus lanes and stuff, specialized bus lanes or something at least, because like through that, if the bus gets to go faster and like it's not crowded and it just gets to zoom along while everybody else is in traffic, people are going to eventually take the bus or something. So like there's just these things that we can do, and then that makes the environment cleaner and whatever. And so I just had that idea because I was like, it was like this really beautiful bridge in Milwaukee, Oregon, like this really beautiful little bridge, but there's just all these like 4-lane bridge and all these people like driving over it. I wouldn't want to like really like take a walk with my children or anything on that bridge with just the all the cars and carbon dioxide and monoxide, whatever, So, but like but if you had like greener roads with like more of a friendly situation, people would take be out more walks. That's another good fringe benefit or byproduct.
One of the problems I see is that cars currently just drive with wheels. In factories, one of the things I had to work with was a lot of robots that transported things. And we would use multi-mode. In multi-mode, you're on your wheels sometimes. Other times it gets on a hook and it gets carried across to another area. I don't see why some of your high speed areas could not be where the car clips into something and is pulled along, suspended. And you don't have to worry about collisions. You don't have to worry about stopping somebody else. You don't have to worry about any kind of stop signs or traffic signals.
Like a ski lift.
Yeah.
I think you should make a separate like subway system with like hangars and like little egg-shaped little plastic, like so kind of like little housing or frame, and then like a really cheap aluminum seat or something, like I don't know. And then in
the standardized shipping containers that were done in the 50s changed shipping completely.
Oh yeah.
They can go from a car, they can go from a ship, they can go to a train, and they just have standardized points of contact. So it doesn't care what you do with the rest of the vehicle. As long as you have those standardized contacts, you come to the place where it's supposed to be, it's going to get grabbed and go.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything everybody's talking about sounds so much like the shit they told us we'd have back like in the 60s.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was just going to say that.
So reminiscent, And I feel like we need to we really need to work on our infrastructure, period. Guys, there's just bridges and crap that ain't right, and
we can't have.
We're still using. But if we rebuild, the fact is, we also need to have damn near full employment for an extended period of time in the United States.
Yeah,
and
we also
to do that, you put people to work. And we can spend trillions on wars. We can spend trillions on giving people health care and putting people to work. Just WPA, CCC, a lot of the stuff we're using now was built back then, and we're still using it. And it's time to rebuild it, And that's my short and sweet. No matter how we go, we can build brand new systems. All you got to do is just tell us what shape concrete you want the rails to be, and we'll pour it to the moon. And wherever you want it, we'll pour it.
I just want to say, yeah.
You got to tell us where, and you can use the old bridges. All that old concrete is recyclable. Yeah. It just goes through the crusher and starts up again as new concrete. So,
so can I just also add really quickly that, you know, for our transporting our goods and things, if we could do that subterraneally and they wouldn't require oxygen like transporting human cargo. So like that's
Joanne was going to say, go ahead, Joanne.
Yeah, I mean, I like all these ideas. I'm thinking about a road project around here outside of Philadelphia, and there are really three interstate roads that come together, and you can spin off to 2 bridges to Pennsylvania, and it's a bottleneck. So, and it you know, there's a lot of traffic going through there, and they, over the past 20 years, they've expanded. They basically put Band-Aids on when a major reconstruction was required. So they finally decided to do the major reconstruction, and they've been working on that for 5 years. 5 years. A fairly short distance. So, you know, we're talking about massive amounts of work.
It took over 20 years to build just the basic part of the interstate system.
So somebody's going to have to put their, I don't know. We have to be realistic about this.
And that's why I think that we all need to read about the diminishing returns of investment. And whenever it comes to replacing infrastructure, why we should be thinking about putting in a completely new type of infrastructure that is more efficient rather than putting a bunch of money into an inefficient infrastructure that will just crumble again in another 100 years anyway.
That's exactly right. And the other thing too is that we also are in a situation where some things can be recycled, like Carpenter's talking about, but it's also a situation where so many of the resources that have been used up at this point are the ones that were easiest to get to. We're in a situation now, they become harder and harder to extract or get to. The other thing too, that I was going to bring this in, is that, you know, you see a lot of misallocation of priorities, like in Atlanta. We're rebuilding these huge sections and putting in all these bridges and all these things new from Marietta on up to Woodstock. For what? The damned baseball stadium. Not really because it's actually needed, but because they put in a damn baseball stadium. So now they've got to build all this brand new stuff. Meanwhile, the bridge down on 285 near downtown is the thing that actually collapsed and burnt.
We also have to consider that
priorities,
rising tides. You know, I live about 45 miles from the coast, and it's pretty flat from here to there. I don't know, we're maybe not 100, maybe 100 feet above sea level. And you know, you have the entire eastern seaboard. All of these things, are they going to even be useful?
Yeah.
No, we're going to lose New York City in about 15 years.
Florida in 20.
Started thinking about what we're going to do with it. Yeah. But just the one city alone, we've got to figure out a complete new infrastructure system to absorb, 15 million people into, because once the major jobs go in the center of the city go, the other jobs that support them are going to have to follow along. We've got a lot of social and other stuff that I don't believe our current government is even set up to be able to address. Because
I see them still building things in Miami.
Right.
Yeah.
To a cast, it might have been Kunstler, I can't remember who it was talking about, someone like him. They're talking about how, you know, here you've got concrete, which is a very durable, you know, substance, but then they reinforce it with rebar. They put all this metal into it, which does not last as long. It rots and it rusts. And so you're enforcing a product that lasts a very long time on its own with something that really doesn't last very long at all. So you're creating
No. You're wrong. No? You're wrong. You build a bridge and you actually use mostly epoxy bar. In new construction, you use epoxy bar.
But how about older construction? Because
you know what? You put the rebar in because concrete doesn't have strength like you think for that. You can't make a column of concrete. It's got to be reinforced for it, and especially anywhere where it shakes.
Well, that's what it's.
You have to have some give in concrete, otherwise it just crumbles.
Well, that's what concrete has, a lot of compressive strength,
Right.
like so it can squeeze together, but it doesn't have any tensile strength, so it can't stretch out like in an earthquake or if there's like a shift. So the rebar is there to provide tensile strength, but the downside to adding the rebar is that whenever you add rebar, that immediately gives concrete an expected age and an expiration date, because rebar will rust within the concrete and deteriorate it from the inside out as it expands and contracts. Whereas if you didn't have rebar in it, concrete has been shown to last thousands of years just perfectly okay.
That's what I was getting at. Thank you, Lucas.
Yeah, but you can't. I mean, my point is, it just can't. It's like if you want,
we need
the epoxy rebar lasts longer. But the other thing too is if you want it to last, there's a reason why these bridges are 100 and some years old. They got the kind of and the other thing is, when they do it, it's very important to get coverage of concrete over the rebar. If the rebar is too close to the surface, you're going to have that bleed through like that. If it's inside of the concrete, it well built and sealed, it will stay for ages. So
we see that a lot down here.
I think I'm gonna switch it to anything goes, folks. So just stay tuned. And
which running airtime?
Wait, we weren't on anything goes yet?
Yeah, too many carrots and pizza. Anyways, I'm stopping it and I'll start it. Everyone just hang on.
Chips.